What's up, design family, and welcome back to another episode of Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you back on the channel. On today's episode, we'll be looking at the different types of denim finishes that exist in the wider fashion market. As I'm sure you guys understand, denim is a wide term that's used to convey and to describe the jeans that we all know and love. But again, as I'm sure you guys know, denim comes in a variety of different shades, finishes, textures. There's a ton you can do to denim, and that's exactly what we're going to be discussing on today's episode. We'll specifically be looking at the different treatments, the different finishes, and the different washes that are used on denim to achieve an individual look, to give each customer something that's unique and something that represents them and what they're looking for from denim. And that's the beauty of denim, in my opinion. There's so much variety, there's so much depth that you can get to when it comes to the finishes and the textures and the shapes. And that's exactly what we're going to be outlining. So buckle up, you guys are in for a good one. What's up, design family, and welcome to Fittdesign TV. So glad to have you here. On this channel, we discuss all things sports fashion, graphic design, manufacturing, and technology. We'll discuss key topics, answer pressing questions, and provide actionable steps on starting your own product line. If you're interested in any of the above topics, stick around. You're in for a good one. Before we get into it, it's important to note that there are three kind of key categories of the types or the ways to apply the denim finishes that we're going to be discussing and explaining on today's episode. You have your mechanical finishes, you have your chemical finishes, and lastly, you have your permanent finishes. The 10 different types of finishes or the 10 different types of applications that we're going to be discussing will all fall within those three. So definitely bear that in mind as we go into this episode. Also, there is absolutely no standard for denim washing. The amount of denim fading or the amount of denim texture highly depends on the washing cycle, the amount of water used, the fabric used, and ultimately even the specific machine that the washing is occurring in. Getting right into it, the first type of denim wash that we're going to be discussing is that of rinse washing. This is also known as a dark wash and is generally considered as one of the most basic washes for denim. This is considered a chemical wash, so definitely bear that in mind. Number 2 on our list is bleaching. This one involves the decolorization or the whitening of the fabric, and again, is also considered a chemical wash. And number 3 here is the enzyme washing. This one is pretty simple. It involves breaking down and weakening the surface of the fabric. That way you kind of give it more of a worn in and aged look. This is considered a chemical wash. Number 4, we have what is known as PP spray or monkey washing. This one is simple. It's a color fading effect that we actually achieve by spraying an oxidizing agent. This one is also considered a chemical wash, and this moves us on into number 5, which is tinting and over dyeing. Because of the way the process works, this is a dyeing process where you actually end up tinting the clothes after you fade them. So you fade the clothes first, take out the color or take out the raw color, and then you tint it a specific shade depending on the request. This is again a chemical process. Number 6 is ozone fading. This one is because we actually use chemical bleach, and we take this chemical bleach, we combine the indigo dye that's naturally found in denim, and we create an oxidative reaction which ends up fading the fabric. And now we'll actually move on from the chemical processes into the mechanical or the abrasive processes. Number 7, we have what is known as sand washing or sandblasting. This is probably the one you've potentially heard of, and essentially this is a decolorization process that's done manually or mechanically depending on the specifics, and is achieved by applying a abrasive material under high pressure onto the surface of the fabric. This one is a process that puts workers into a intense situation and has historically been known to be potentially harmful and in certain cases fatal to the workers. Number 8 is what is known as the water jet fading process. This one is a mechanical treatment that uses hydrojets and applies pressure again onto the surface of the fabric to take out or to remove the dye in the fabric. This ends up with a decolorization or a fading effect on the finished garment. Number 9 here is what is known as stone washing. This is also an abrasive or mechanical process and is a physical mechanical treatment that's used to achieve a worn in, faded, and sort of used look to the garment. Number 10, we have acid washing. This one is either known as marble, moon, or snow washing. And we call it this because acid washing is actually a mix of mechanical and chemical finishes that produces a snowy, faded effect into the finished garment. And number 11, we have lasering. This one is a mechanical dry finishing process that uses lasers and laser treatments to create a faded effect in the surface of the garment, where you can actually project branding, artwork, and other types of graphics into the surface of the fabric, and is extremely innovative when it comes to the way we can project unique designs on the surface of denim. Number 12, and lastly here, is known as crush finishing. This one gives a 3D wrinkled effect or a crushed effect of the fabric by actually spraying the fabric with a solution of resin and allowing it to harden, and that's what allows the fabric to solidify and take this wrinkled effect. Well, guys, that is it. That is a wrap on this episode. Just to recap, we went through the 12 different types of denim finishes that we typically see on the market. Each of these 12 falls within the mechanical, chemical, and permanent category. And by now you should have a much better understanding of the benefits or sort of the characteristics of each, and how you can visually identify them, whether you're out in a store or you're just looking at a piece of denim fabric. You're able to make the decision on which one is the right option for you, and ultimately which one you want to go with. If you guys enjoyed this type of content, you like getting technical when it comes to fashion, textile production, definitely consider subscribing to our channel. We put out great content on a week-to-week basis, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. Also, guys, make sure to tune in pretty much every week, twice a week. We put out content like this and haven't skipped a beat in over 2 years. So until next time, guys, stay awesome.